Hi, this video is for the assignment in Unit 4, Activity 3. And so for this assignment, you're going to have to answer job interview questions. And what you want to do is download the job interview question sheet here. And if you download it, it'll look like this right here. Okay. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is to choose a specific job which interests you. It could be any job you can think of, but it should be a specific job title. So you wouldn't want to choose, you wouldn't want to say that you want to work in a hospital, right? Identify a specific job in a hospital that you would like to have. So wherever you choose, whatever career path you choose, try to find something specific, a specific job title that you could be applying for. And so once you've identified that specific job, imagine that you have an interview for that job, and then answer the following questions. Now, keep in mind it's a job interview, that this is meant to be taken seriously. So you want to fully explain yourself. You don't just want to give, 2-3 word answers or very simple sentence answers. You want to give detail and multiple sentences for each one of your answers. You want to try to sell yourself. You certainly don't want to make yourself sound, you don't want to make yourself sound, put yourself in a negative light or make yourself sound bad in the interview. So make sure when you answer these questions that you're selling yourself and presenting yourself in a positive way. And since it's a job interview and since this is sort of technical communication, you want to use formal language. You don't want to use contractions. So instead of saying I'm, you would say I am. So try to be as formal as possible. You don't want to use slang words. You want to use very specific professional English. And then, of course, as always, you want to use full sentences. So if you take a look at some of the questions here, number 1 is just identify the job. So whichever job you've chosen, just write it right here. This is the only sentence that you don't have to write in full sentences. Just make it clear that I know which job you're applying for. Then, why are you interested in the job? And so you want to give me a few sentences explaining why you're interested in that particular job title. What is your previous work experience? How has this work experience helped you prepare for this job? So any sort of work experience that you would have in the past, even if it's something very small, just write about that previous experience and try to explain how things that you learned during that experience, and it might not be specific skills, maybe it's just sort of an attitude or something that's developed in your personality because of that work experience, that can help you on the job that you're applying for. What is your education background? So how has your education helped you prepare for this job? So again, your education doesn't necessarily have to be specifically related to the job. I'm not worried about that, but try to use examples from your education, even if it's just from your time at St. Michael's, to try to show how it's helped you prepare to enter the world of work and to do this job. Number 5, describe a situation at school or work where you had faced a big challenge. So imagine a situation where you had to face a problem or a conflict, and how did you handle that challenge? What was the outcome? So how did you overcome that problem? Number 6, describe a situation where someone else was angry with you. It could be, something at school. It could be something from work. It could be something related to your family or friends. But just a situation where someone was angry with you. How did you handle it, and what was the outcome? And so you'll notice this repetition. How did you handle the situation? What was the outcome? You want to show how you handle difficult situations, and then how the outcome hopefully ends up being a positive one. And then number 7, describe a situation where you had to work with other people. How did you handle it? What was the outcome? And again, it doesn't have to be something specific that you did at a job. You could have worked with other people at school, or you could have worked with other people when you were volunteering, or lots of different situations. But just try to identify one particular case where you worked with other people and explain how you handled it, and hopefully it had a positive outcome. Things like overcoming challenges, Things like dealing with people that are upset. Things like, how do you handle working with others? These are typical questions that you would get when you're applying for a job. So this is, again, not just for this assignment, but this is good practice for future interviews that you might have. And then number 8, describe the skills that you have that make you a good candidate for this job. So see if you can explain specific skills that you've developed that apply to that particular job. So now we're trying to be specific and relate to that job. So it's a good idea that you understand or know some of the skills that would be needed for that job. And then 9, last question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What will you be doing? So this is a typical job interview question. They often ask the candidate, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because they want to hear you talk about how you hope to use this job to improve and to move forward in your career. So you want to explain, where do you think this job can lead you, and where do you think you can be in 5 years? And that's it. If you can answer those 9 questions, you've done the assignment, and you can submit to the Dropbox, and you're all set. If for some reason you have trouble downloading the Microsoft document, the questions are listed right here as well too. And that's about it. That's the assignment for this activity. If you have any questions, please let me know.